The origin of Blackbeard is unclear, but there are some things that are known. His birth name is Edward Teach. Teach was most likely born in the seaport Bristol in England. It's also widely accepted that he was childhood friends with another famous pirate and future mentor, Benjamin Hornigold. This is because when Edward Teach went down to the Caribbean, he was soon taken under the wing of Hornigold and was soon given a ship in Ben Hornigold's fleet. While there are lots of pirates during this period that were notable, Blackbeard stands out among the rest. While Blackbeard's brutality was unmatched during his time, with his constant pillaging and robbing the French and English colonies, his brutality crippled and stagnated the progress of the economy in colonies and the countries controlling them by stealing directly from the colonies and using fear to end raids swiftly and making a reputation for himself. However, the pirates during this time were incredibly revolutionary for the time, unlike people had seen before. The code of piracy that Blackbeard and every other pirate during this time followed was explicit in the fact that democracy is what held the ships together. Everyone on board was respected and was given a chance to make their voice heard, which is very uncommon in this time. And while Blackbeard was able to reinforce new ideals on his ship, he was also able to influence the islands he interacted with outside the ship as well. The political structure of Colombia was not stable, especially after the wars that preceded Blackbeard's arrival. While it would be expected that Edward's use of fear would also weaken the political status, such as lawmaking, influence, and the ability to change the community, the opposite occurs. Blackbeard was able to bring power and vision to small islands. It was because of Blackbeard's brutality that he was able to spread his ideals throughout the Caribbean islands. Blackbeard was able to stagnate the economy of the European powers that were in control of the Caribbean, although not always through explicit violence, but also utilizing fear to conquer ships faster and also to deter opponents. When Edward Teach would steal from and attack colonies, it would not only make the economies of the colonies stop at a standstill, it would also worry the powers that controlled the colonies. When Blackbeard blockaded a port town in South Carolina, he used all of his tools to his use. He threatened to behead the men he had captured and was bargaining with the governors of Charleston, saying that he would only leave after getting what he wanted. This claim was validated by Blackbeard's reputation. He was described as being 7 feet tall and having wild eyes and a night black beard. Although Edward was using brutish tactics, he was doing all of this to help others in New Providence, demanding only medicine as his ransom. The independent islands during the Golden Age of piracy were not politically strong because of the fact that they were relatively new settlements. Blackbeard, through his piracy, was able to raise the community. Blackbeard was able to greatly increase the influence and power of Nassau by reinforcing the Republic of Pirates. The Republic had already been established in the age before Blackbeard. While Blackbeard was not the founder, he was given the spot of magistrate to enforce the laws of Nassau. Teach's notoriety and skill on the open seas made him a great choice to run Nassau. The strong backbone Blackbeard placed in Nassau allowed the previously pirate-riddled slum of a city to become one of the most recognizable Caribbean islands to this day. While there are no clear documentation of what Blackbeard was able to do, it can be said that he was able to increase the order on the island and popularity. He was also able to create structure that all good settlements need. That is when the British recaptured the island of Nassau. So without Edward Teach at the helm of Nassau, the now capital of the Bahamas would not be anywhere close to where it is today. Blackbeard and his fellow pirates held policies that many others during this time period did not hold. Code of piracy was inherently ingrained with ideals similar to 18th century revolutions, with the way it practically promoted elements of democracy. Blackbeard was able to implement aspects of democracy that was unseen at the time he was active in plundering. Majority ruled under the black flag, with the crew deciding what ship to plunder, even stretching to whether or not to maroon a shipmate. Not only was the entire ship able to weigh in on decisions, everyone was given equal share of everything. Food, rations, and even the treasure they were able to plunder. The only one who was able to gain more than the others was the captain, but that was merely because the captain was their leader. This type of operating was spread throughout the Bahamas. New Providence and Nassau both worked like this. Blackbeard's brutality is what let him influence these and many other places to become democratic, like the ship he led. Throughout all of this, it is able to see that Edward Teach's brutality is completely legendary. This is because not only was Blackbeard able to take over ships without needing to kill all on board, but also that his brutality spread progress in the Caribbean. It is interesting how someone so unlawful and cruel can also have ideas that are ahead of their time and will show up again and again. It is rare to see a person, much less a group, be so progressive. This is important because because it shows that there are more ways to spread ideas than just slow-moving tactics. Ideas will always be mixing and homogenizing, as long as people are willing to break the mold a bit when thinking and sharing.